I find this question really interesting. Is bleeding in between periods around the time of ovulation a serious concern? What do you think? So the answer is no, it's not a serious concern. A little bit of spotting or a little bit of bleeding mid-cycle around the time of ovulation can be related to the hormonal changes of ovulation. However, heavy bleeding or bleeding that's more unpredictable or bleeding that may be related to a different cause, and you don't always know that, needs evaluation and management. So, for example, bleeding that happens after intercourse could be related to friability or a raw part on the cervix. And that could indicate a cervical lesion or precancer or even cancer on the cervix. So, bleeding that is irregular or unpredictable or doesn't seem like menstrual bleeding needs to be evaluated with a regular pap test, and those are done every 3 to 5 years with HPV testing. Sexually transmitted infection testing, specifically gonorrhea and chlamydia, can both cause a cervicitis or cervical bleeding that's unpredictable. And there's other causes because there's other organs there. So vulvar or vaginal or even bladder or urethral or even rectal. So if bleeding is maybe coming from a different source or you're uncertain, there are a lot of pathologies or a lot of potential reasons for that bleeding that can't just be chalked up to ovulation. So in general, a little tiny bit of spotting or some spotting around the time of ovulation that's associated with definitely ovulation, like maybe some cramping or some breast tenderness or other symptoms, is probably okay. But if you're concerned, there are other things to be concerned about, and you need to have that evaluated.